Welcome back to the Sisters Call Cup, everybody. Now we're heading into our next best of 3 series in the round robin. We have a META Madness style tournament, and we're going to talk about it in a moment. For now, we have on the left side of Towers of Doom our first map in the best of 3 series. Vivq, the captain of the team on Leoric. We get Machko on ETC, Endless on Deckard Kane, Hajdunio is playing Falstad, and we get Zeromek on Kerrigan. So pretty aggressive comp that they're running here with a lot of CC. Falstad the only range damage dealer. And then over on the right side, the red team is Zagzi. On Malthael, we got Harkness on Garrosh. Aldante is playing Rhaegar. We got Whitey on Tychus. And Akunis is playing Zagara. So as mentioned in the previous matches, this is a tournament that is basically held by and for the Polish community. There are a couple of players in the tournament that are not from Poland, but roughly 95% easily of the players in this event are Polish. Now, the tournament is basically the Polish version of META Madness. Most of you are probably familiar. META Madness is something that I've ran now, I think, 8 times already, and I have another one planned for later this year. And what META Madness basically does, as we get our first quick kill against Garrosh, is we are adding 2 rules to change the draft and the meta. And the first one is that there are pre-banned heroes. That's the case here as well. 25 heroes are banned before the tournament even begins, and then every single hero that gets played cannot be played again. And as you can imagine, as you're going through a best of 3, through a best of 5, that automatically means that you limit the pool of available heroes further and further, which results oftentimes in pretty crazy picks. Now, as mentioned before, the amount of banned heroes and specifically which ones are pre-banned, you can find all of that in the description of the YouTube video. And again, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it yet, and hit that like button. Watch the video towards the end. All of that helps to promote the video a little bit, helps to just promote the Heroes of the Storm content to more like-minded Heroes of the Storm fans out there, people that might come back to the game and enlarge our player base a bit. So again, not only do you help the channel to grow, but you also contribute a little bit to trying to get the community back in action and keep it alive here. So hit that like button, hit the sub button, very much appreciated. But outside of this all being in the comments there, we have already 2 kills for Team Vivq. So going up against Team Zagzi, they are doing what I said before. They are trying to use those CC chains and the really aggressive combos to get themselves a couple of kills. And thus far, it's been working out. They got the power slide of ETC, the slows from Leoric. Kerrigan can follow up on any stun and slow. And then they can even contribute a bit more with Deckard Kane himself. So yeah, we'll see how this is going to pan out for them. And as mentioned before, you should also recognize a couple of these players. I mean, obviously, we're having a bit of a mix when it comes to skill level, but generally, this is pretty high level what we're getting to see here. It's 6 teams in total, and players like Akunis, Machko, and others are, of course, also present in most of the other tournaments that we are generally running. So that should ring a bell for everybody that is watching Heroes of the Storm regularly on the channel. First altar phase is now coming up. When it comes to the builds, we have a bit of an adjustment here with level 4 for Tychus, so he's going within the rhythm and is attempting to extend the minigun duration. The first 11 stacks are already in an ideal world, of course. You have someone like Garrosh throw a hero into the backline close to Tychus so he can get a full duration through, and that's exactly what he's trying right here. And that is a lot of stacks, and that's a kill too. So we have Kerrigan eliminated and 22 stacks for Tychus. So that's a very nice early lead for him, and it's going to make it much, much easier to get consecutive stacks on the level 4 talent. So right now, quick fly as the top side channel has happened. That means we have 2 channels on the side of Team Vivq and only 1 from Team Zagzi. But once again, here comes the kill, and that's even more stacks for Tychus. It's actually kind of funny. With every single minigun rotation that he used so far, he got exactly 11 stacks. So good for him. But that's a very, very nice early bonus that he gets there, and it's going to make it much, much easier for him throughout the rest of the game to get to a proper number of stacks that will extend his duration further. And, I mean, we had some games that were absolutely bonkers. I don't know when exactly it happened, but I think roughly a month ago, maybe 1.5, We had one game where Tigers went absolutely ballistics and had the most stacks that I've ever seen in any kind of Heroes of the Storm game. If you're interested in that, you can go to the YouTube channel and just scroll down the list a little bit. It was in the name and Tigers was also featured in the thumbnail. But if you're a Tigers fan, you should probably check that out because there was a full-on auto attack build and it was insane how much damage the Tigers player was able to get and how many stacks he had. Endless minigun, essentially, is what we're talking about. Kills are currently evenly divided, and yeah, the push at the bottom of the map is actually starting to take that wall down. Team VVQ, after the initial 2-0 lead in kills, has now also had to suffer a few losses. We have a lot of creep spread, by the way. I mean, I gotta say, Akunis is doing a great job on this, and Team VVQ is not really doing the best job trying to take those creep tumors out. Tigers again with a couple of stacks. I mean, at this point, it's a meme. He has another 11 hits with that minigun. Really? Every single time he hits D, he gets exactly 11 stacks? There's like some patch that I missed where all of a sudden the maximum that you can get from a single trade is 11? Or what's going on here? I mean, this is getting a little bit memey. Comes in again, tries to get the next few hits through, and is sitting at 53. Alright, this time he falls a little bit short from the looks of it. But they're going in for the next attack, and the red team is suffering in this fight. They're losing Garrosh, and the fight is forced way past that. We're going straight in for Zaxi himself, and there's the combo from Carrigan that finally locks in the kill, together with Falstad in his auto attacks. The channel at the bottom of the map is about to happen. It's a double altar phase. Falstad has already flown to the top and is pushing. One altar channeled in the middle as the red team is down to 3 players. They are sneaking one in with Zagara. Okay, not too bad. That was actually pretty sexy. Zagara is able to get one of the altars channeled through. I have to admit, I'm surprised. Maybe Falstad was a bit premature in his move to the top. Now we have level 10 abilities for Team VVQ. That gives us the Ultralisk over here. And we also had Mosh Pit plus the Entomb that we get in action. But there is Garrosh and... Oh ho ho! The Mosh! Easily interrupted, but Zagara still dies. Zagara is gone. They're trying for Rhaegar, and Carrigan hits a couple of abilities, but not too much. And a nice, beautiful attack again from Tychus. Rhaegar still falls, but we're also getting more stacks for Tychus and a kill against Carrigan, so that trading kills here at 6-3. The blue team still slightly ahead on this, but yeah, that's a pretty wild game here. And look at the damage output that we're getting from Tychus. Again, the combo with him plus Garrosh is really working for him. You need to keep someone in close range when you activate your trade so that you can really get all the damage through and then extend the duration further. And that's been working exceptionally well with Garrosh. Malthael, mega low, but Junior also super close to dying here. 6.5 out of 10. Spray game absolutely on point. Both of them survive here. Falstad was trying to dive deep to take down Malthael, but then both of them escaped with a sliver of health remaining. So now we have the next objective popping up. It's a single altar, this time on the map. No level 13 talents yet for either one of the teams. And they're gonna stop the pumpkins at the bottom of the map from the looks of it. But there's a lot of pressure at the top side fort for sure. Falstad and the camps that they were able to take dropped it now mega low, and that means Malthael is also late to the party in the middle because he's still trying to defend here. Leo's coming in, looking for the Entomb, finds it again on Zagara. They're totally fine though. Garrosh creating a little bit of space. Here's the Gust, and they're trying to channel in the back, but Malthael is coming through, gets the interrupt, and now the red team tries to make a move. Malthael is getting away, so he's still alive. But what about the red team? We have Garrosh getting attacked, another slide and kill, and big ult, huge ult from Deckard Cain. But the Maw from Carrigan is hitting two. Two of the CC champs are gone. Leo gets eliminated. The combo hits Zagara. And here comes ETC, and Rhaegar's just a tiny bit too late with his Ancestral. Endless. Ready, still alive, drops the potions, and another channel from the blue team. Team VVQ with the big shots here, and they are starting to take control of the game. Game number 1 in the best of 3 series is so far working well for them. They got 8 kills to 4, we have them with level 13, and they have the extra talent on this now as well. No last right stacks yet But the battle continues, and maybe here a chance for Malthael. There's the party from Machko. The kill! Nicely done. ETC is gone. The Ancestral hits Malthael. They want more. They want Kerrigan. She goes for the combo, but she's also isolated and dies. So that's 2 kills for Team Zagzi. 5 versus 3 and the chance to steal some pumpkins away. 86 stacks now for Tigers, so he's really continuing the plays. It's a little bit of a hybrid here for him. He still continued with his typical grenade build, just switched out the level 4 talent. So it's not a full commitment to an auto attack style build that we are getting from him. And while the red team is now going for the control of the bottom bell tower, it seems that Falstad, with the pumpkins he's currently taking at the top lane, will aim to get that top altar for the team, that top bell tower. But it's actually not only Malthael that rotates up. We now have also Garrosh saying hello here real quickly. He's a tiny second too late though. And this is likely going to be a last right kill. Apparently he doesn't have anything that allows him to get away here. And, well, there's the flip. He doesn't have the cooldown ready. But they get the kill anyways. Okay, that was a bit of a clutch one. I was honestly the entire time under the assumption that the cooldown was already available, but nope. And now we have also, that's the stuff for Tigers. Yeah, they go for another kill. They take down Rega. He's eliminated. And that was a quick one. There's also the Entomb on Tigers. Tigers gets locked down and killed. Nice, neat. Team Vivq with some nice plays, but they lose the altar. At least one of them, and that's a lot of shots fired now. Of course, with the 3 versus 5 bell tower situation, Team Vivq themselves, they can now also fire back. But it is still... I mean, the blue team is still in the lead, don't get me wrong, but obviously there's now a big gap in the amount of damage that was done through that objective. At the bot lane, they're also stopping the pumpkins. There are no additional ones that move in here. 6-point gap on core points, but very, very even experience. And as usual, it's all about the late game when we're talking about Towers of Doom. Still maintaining control over the bottom bell tower. We got Harkness sitting tight here. Falstad continuing attempt to pressure, but keep in mind he's the only real range damage dealer on the team, so it makes it a bit tricky for them to just poke on the bell tower. They have to either fully commit or just play the long game here. It's very difficult for them to take the structures back. And with level 16 talents now kicking in on both sides, not only do we have the totem build for Rega completed, but we also have, in addition to that, the grenade build advanced. We have the Hydralisks upgraded, and Ashdunio here has to gust out or he would have died. Talking about dying, Zagzi, these entombs that we're getting are absolutely on point. Vivq has been playing Leoric a few times now in this tournament, and the entombs are always top-notch. So they get the kill on Malthael, he's gone again, which once more means that Team Zagzi is in a 4 versus 5 as the objective spawns. And it is a triple altar. So they have at least the control over the bot lane, but it's a triple altar phase. And even if they maintain that control at the bottom of the map, it's still going to hurt them on the core. There's the flip, there's the attack, big damage, and Falstad is gone. And that changes things. Now, I don't know if they're fast enough to go towards the top. I highly doubt it. But they will at a minimum get the channel at the bottom of the map with Aldante. Leo is also trying to get them the bell tower here, and will, but it's a 5 versus 3 trade initially. Fight is now starting up. Seems like Deckard Cain is a little bit low. Deckard Cain is gone. So this is a huge opportunity for Team Zagzi. They're going for Kerrigan again. And Kerrigan is dead. Gets absolutely murdered. Great Entomb here once more, but there's nobody to follow up with damage. 3 heroes are gone. And that's the chance to get the channel. It is 4 altars to 4, so another 4 shots fired. And honestly, that puts the 2 teams on eye level. That means we have the exact same amount of points on the core at this point in time. But the bell tower situation, that could still change. So right here, the attack is coming. We have the mid lane being crushed. 11 kills to 10. It's kind of crazy how close this series is. This is game number 1 in the best of 3. And it's honestly a bit bonkers. Same amount of points on the core. Everything is 18, by the way. Level 18. 18 points on the core. And then, of course, to break that spell a little bit, 11 kills to 10. But, yeah. In this case, we now have the next set of pumpkins taken. And obviously, if you add 11 kills on each side, so that's 21. You subtract the 3 pumpkins here, and you get 8 to 18 as well. Coincidence? I don't think so.
Nope.
So, with that, we now have the push at the bot lane, again, with pumpkins that will potentially even been thrown in. Garrosh could help here, talking about throwing stuff in. They go again for some Tychus damage. 50,000 is what he has currently in total. Absolute top damage in the game with ease, and more than 100 stacks for him now, which of course means that he has more than 3 additional seconds on all of this. So in comes ETC, the old man, and he gets mauled immediately. The gust, absolutely disastrous from Hashdunyo here. That did nothing, and oh my god, it's a bloodbath. Leo, ETC, both gone. Karrigan low, Deckard Cain rushes away, Falstad gets caught. He's killed, and it's a nightmare. Lots of shots fired also against the blue team. They're down to 12 points on the core now. Half a level missing for Team Zaxi to get to 20. And they have the altar at the bottom of the map. There's also still the boss at the top. So huge opportunities right now from the perspective of the red team. Massive moves. They get another 5 shots fired, and they make the play for the boss at the top. And this is going to drop the core of Team BBQ down to 3 points. That's 1 pumpkin rotation. At least, though, the blue team has an opportunity to take their bell towers back. So now they have, funnily enough, the bell tower advantage, because Team Zaxi still needs to reclaim that top right if they want to have a shot on this. But with Zagara now pushing in and then running Storm Talons, they can definitely do that. So we get Pact Instinct. Both teams now with Storm Talons, by the way. The upgrade to Farsia's Blessing. And no surprises, really. It's going to be a pretty brutal fight for the next altar. And the interesting thing is that it will be a double spawn on the horizontal at the top. So, kind of tricky for Team BBQ. They have to try to move up there and invade enemy territory, which is not going to be easy. But a huge back and forth game between the two teams now. So, as is, everybody's just waiting for the altar spawn. 107 stacks, as I said, for Tychus. And Tychus has actually not taken his level 20 yet. And I am a little bit surprised. This seems like an easy pick into the big red button. I mean, again, if it was a full auto attack style, then I would have said, okay, there are alternatives. But given the fact that he only adjusts his level 4 talent, well, okay, the level 13 as well, but that didn't go for press the advantage or anything along those lines. Is he really going to commit to something outside of big red button? No, he isn't. Okay, there it is. Was playing with our feelings here for just a second. But yeah, this is the moment. 3 points on the core to 18. The game has flipped very, very quickly. We were dead even just 2-3 minutes ago, and now the red team is in a situation where they could potentially get themselves the lead in the best of 3 series. The hits keep coming. Last rites, and the first kill with last rites for Leo. Big ult from Deckard Cain, and Zagara goes down, but Tychus is just shelling the shit out of them from the side here. A kill against Rhaegar. Falstad is dead, and Malthael is on the run. The channel happening here by Endless, and over there, Garrosh, and he gets it! Garrosh is able to sneak in the channel, and that is game. Team Zaxi with the lead in the tournament. GG and well played. We're going to head in game number 2 in a second. Guys, if you enjoy the content, if you like the coverage here, please subscribe to the channel and like the video. It really helps to spread the videos to people that were interested in Heroes of the Storm in the past and might rejoin the game. So spread the love a little bit, help to promote the games here, like and subscribe, and I hope that you enjoy the rest of the series. Team Zaxi is in the lead. They pulled it off. Garrosh stealthily sneaking to the altar, as May Binay has mentioned in on the Twitch chat that Garrosh is very much so known for his stealth, and at least in this game that was the case. But of course, more heroes were now played and couldn't be used again, so when it comes to the draft, we have now on the left side Team BBQ with Machko on Varian. BBQ himself on Sonya. Anna is played by Endless. We get Hashdunyo on Thrall and Zeomek on Sylvanas. Over on the right side of the map, the team in the lead in this best of 3 series with Zagzi, the captain, on Kira. We get Harkness on Arthas, Akunis on Imperius, Aldante on the solo support, solo heal Uther, and we got Whitey on Jimmy. Going for Reyna. An Exterminator as we find ourselves on Hanamura. Yes, you heard right. This tournament actually features Hanamura. And by the way, if there are still people that don't know why sometimes the drafts are missing, it is very, very simple. The tournament took place over the course of 2 weekends, and I wasn't available on the first weekend. So I am casting the round robin matches from replays, and replays do not save draft information. But as I already said, there's 25 heroes that are pre-banned. The list can be found in the comments or in the thingy, the description. And every hero can only be played once. So that's why we're starting to see more and more of these outside-the-box picks. But this is still fairly normal at times. Obviously, that's going to change once that we're going into a Game 3 or once we're heading into, let's say, a Best of 5 series. But since we find ourselves on Hanamura, it's all going to be about the Sentinel here. It's also one of the reasons why we get Exterminator for Jimmy. That's going to help a lot with that, of course. So the first Sentinel camp is up, and that's immediately where the push comes in, as Team Zagzi is trying to make a play for a victory on map number 2 to close out this series. Now, as is, we have the red team in position as well. We're getting Trolling Thunder, and we have, interestingly enough, the Unfurling Shadows for Sylvanas. Yeah, but maps are actually interesting. Now, in case that you guys are not aware of this, but there is a new test patch, a new PTR patch that Blizzard has released recently that is currently on the test server. And there they are also trying to adjust a lot of the maps. Blackheart's Bay, for example, being one of them. One of the changes is that if you now hold coins, doubloons, and you get killed, you only lose half of them and not all of them anymore. But there's a lot more changes. And the more interesting thing about the patch, in my opinion, is that Blizzard is also making some general changes to the way that the game gets played. So this will have massive impacts, very likely. And it's super interesting because thus far, when we're talking about patches, they've mainly been tweaking numbers and been looking at heroes and try to rebalance those every now and then. But we haven't seen them touch the overall gameplay to that extent. Now, if you haven't seen the patch notes yet, you can check out the videos on my YouTube channel. There is a video regarding the patch that I released just recently, just a couple of days ago, where I talk a bit more in depth about some of the most important changes, in my opinion. And there's a pretty good conversation and discussion also going on in the comments, so you're more than welcome to check that out and have a look there. In our game here on Hanamura, we have, for now, still lots and lots of focus on the camps, of course. So we're not only talking about the recon camps and the vision that they are trying to maintain, but also the Sentinel that then gets taken out. That's, again, as I said before, one of the main reasons why they're playing around Jimmy as much as they do. But with level 4 now available, that means that the blue team has Taunt and can try and set things up here. And I fully expect that once we're getting to level 10, we also get a leap from Sonya and then maybe Sundering, so that they can just go in on the same target time and time again. But talking about Sonya, she's in trouble, and, well, she's dead. So Sonya is gone. Now, if they actually go into Leap and Sundering, they have to just make sure that they're coordinating this properly. There's nothing that feels worse than if you try to leap on the target and all of a sudden Thrall drops the Sundering on it and pushes the target out of the stun circle. So you gotta be careful with this. 2 stacks for Thrall on his level 4. Typical play, of course, from him. Trying to get his Frostwolf pack completed. And Kira is all alone at the top now. We have a bit of an escort attempt on the payload, but it's now the blue team that is slowly taking control of this. The Sentinels, then again, are now back up, and that is where Jimmy is instantly starting to get value together with Akunis again. So for the blue team, it's a bit awkward because they want their own Sentinel, of course. This is still the probably most important aspect of the map, generally speaking, so you don't want to neglect that. They let the objective slide for just a moment as a result, but here comes the invade attempt, and they're just missing out. That was close though. Thrall gets out, but a little bit faster, and they have a chance to make a move for the Sentinel and maybe claim this. So it's the top lane pressure. That actually worries me a little bit right now. With the payload being pushed down to the bottom of the map, the blue team decided that they need to defend down here and maybe push with their own sentinel, but that means that the top is completely abandoned. So this is a bit of a weird one. This sentinel is going to be stopped, the payload is escorted through, but you can see that the sentinel at the top side is doing enormous amounts of damage already. The entire wall has been destroyed here, and if we are seeing at any point Team Zugzi with an objective getting the payload delivered, then that would do just so much more damage already just by default. 4 stacks for Thrall, getting a little bit closer on this. More turrets obviously being slowly locked in as well, and Zarmek is making a move here. Same is true for the red team. Whitey is dropping the next turret as well, and the fight for the payload continues in the middle. So now everybody has level 7 talents, has their items ready, and is starting to make some plays. We have seen only a single kill in this game so far. Thrall completes his quest, nicely done, 5 minutes in. Sonya, again low, is moving out, but we have Kira jumping in. Not only her, there's the lunge. Imperius connects, but he dies. Gets targeted down quickly. Kira is also dead, dying essentially to the turret over here, and that's a triple baby. 3 heroes eliminated. Team Vivq with a great fight on the objective, and now the chance to deliver the payload and maybe even get more. Nicely done by the blue team. Not really ahead in experience or anything, but that was a great team fight for them and puts them, for now at least, in the driver's seat. The shots fired will start to take that wall out. That's definitely going to help. We had the same accomplished earlier by the red team thanks to the sentinel plays and the map rotation that they executed. But now there's another problem. Sonya is the one that gets attacked again. Kira comes in and gets the kill. Nice. Kira starting this off with a maximum effort, going full deadlock on us at Deadpool. Then we have Your Pain, My Gain, and the Thirst. So, yeah, the Deadpool build right there. Sylvana's at the bottom of the map, still taking the next observer camp. We still have damage done down here too, so this is the downside. As expected, Sundering and also Leap on the blue team side, which means, of course, now that we have to watch out for those ults and the way that they're being used here. If Sundering gets used after Leap, that would help them a lot more, so we'll see if Hashdunio coordinates properly with Sonya, or how they're playing this one out. Kira is already retreating again. Sentinels are up, and Team Zugzi takes theirs right away. Now, with heroics on the side of the red team, there's no surprise there either. Nice push, though, with Sylvanas at the bottom of the map now. Great rotation from Team Vivq, able to nearly destroy that fort. But here comes the lunge on Sonya. Nice. Could go for the Howling Blast too. Sundering did nothing. Connected with absolutely nobody. Aldante nearly killed. Gets a last second Divine Shield through. Oh my god. The triple kill as a result. Totally bananas here. Aldante with the perfect reaction. That Divine Shield was clutch. And now they get a 4th kill just shortly after. Huge play here. Check Uther out here. That was massive. Look at the Divine Shield. That was so good. And then, of course, the follow-up kills against the 2 attackers. 6 kills to 3 now. And since the Sentinel was still there, they're able to take it too. Top side has already been eliminated. So the Sentinel that we had pushing for the red team with big success. And now at the bottom of the map, the wall is getting attacked. And of course, the rest of the team is now still attacking the wall here. Could potentially even go for the fort and do some damage. But that one changed the flow of the game for sure. Team Vivq was looking good up to this point. It did more damage on structures at the bottom of the map, but then that big fight at the bottom lane is lost. The Sentinel at the top is essentially uncontested as it pushes for structures. And all of this is falling a little bit apart. We got 42 stacks for Sylvanas, by the way. Arthur still controlling this. Nice. Gets the heal. Sundering. And that should be a kill against Darkness. And he goes down. Leap. Whoa. Big jump. And another kill. Yeah, seems like the blue team is a little bit mad. They go in and they get 3 kills. Yeah, it's blow for blow again. 6 kills to 6. This reminds me a bit of map number 1. Map number 1, Towers of Doom, was super close up to the point when it wasn't anymore. And it is just awesome to see that they are fighting tooth and nail here for victory in game 2 as well. And that's a kill for a kill. Ah, they're getting a double. Nice. Kira and Imperius both fall. Both taken out by Varian. So it's getting chaotic over here. It's getting really chaotic. We have level 13.5 for both sides. But yeah, tons of stuff happening on this now. Down at the... can they catch that? I don't really think so. Sylvanas is back in 2, but Kira and Imperius are going to have a little bit less travel time. So this can definitely be contested by the red team. Kira is already back and on the way. Now Imperius is coming up. Sylvanas also on the move. But here's the opportunity. It seems like they're willing to fight for this. Kira jumping in. Army of the Dead is being used. Thrall with Sundering. And that was the problem right there. Sundering and Leap both used at the same time. And the coordination just not there. Kira dies, but so did Thrall. They're taking down Sonya. And this is going to be the end of that push for the objective. The blue team trying to get away, but they're losing Varian, aren't they? He's in trouble, gets slowed down by Arthas, and that's Machko gone. But watch out here for Sonya and for Thrall. In comes the Sundering any second, and then the Leap, and this is exactly the problem right there. Leap and Sundering not coordinated, and they just they miss out on that CC chain. If they would have just waited with Sundering, get the Leap through first and then use it later or vice versa, they could have done so much more here. But that was super unfortunate for Team VVQ. Now they're going to lose the Sentinel probably again. It's a 5 versus 4 after all with Kira moving in. 26,000 damage from Jimmy. Sentinel is taken, but Imperius is dead. They're still trying to get a kill. They will have to move back right now. Kira went a bit deep though. They're Sundering again, and this time they get a kill, and they might even be able to get Arthas too. It's a wild game. I mean, how many kills are we going to get here? This is 12 kills to 10 now, and I have to say that this is a bit bananas. I mean, this always went the entire time from, hey, everything is fine peachy, to havoc and chaos raining down on either team. It just feels like we are not getting any team with momentum that they can build on. It's always just 3 kills here, 3 kills there, team fights going awry, people committing a little bit too hard. Now we have the lead in experience again for Team VVQ, which helps them to get the early level 16. But, yeah, that's an interesting one. Sentinel most likely gonna be taken by VVQ's team now. Arthas came back a bit too late, so they gotta defend here. It's kind of funny though that we still have 2 forts standing from the perspective of Team Zagzi. There's a double catapult push now at the top. We're 12 minutes, 13 minutes in. Okay, Sonya is rotating over and will take care of it. But I don't think that the payload, for example, is going to go anywhere with the red team now being back in full force and instantly making a beeline for it. They also take the turret. They want the experience. They want level 16. And just through passive experience alone, they're going to get it any moment now. There it is. And that gives us also the booming kick. And we have the Remorseless Winter. So even more control from Arthas himself, which is fantastic. Penetrating round focus again from Jimmy. And Arthas down. In comes Sundering. 4 versus 5. And the big leap and the follow-up kill as Uther dies. Now I gotta say that Team VVQ is actually starting to gain a lot of momentum here. 14 kills to 10, now a 1 level lead. And this is, I believe, the 2nd team fight in a row that they won big time. Starting to get a bit dicey from the red team's perspective. We get on 16, the Valorous Pursuit, and we also have Benediction. But this is really where things are starting to fall apart a bit. Sylvanas has now taken over as the top damage dealer in the game. 37,000 for her. Second up is Thrall with 33k. And just then do we have the first player of the red team making an appearance in the ranking, with Jimmy sitting at 32. So, yeah, shots fired towards the top, which means that the payload has been fully delivered, and this will eliminate the fort topside. So also a structural advantage now for Team VVQ. Both of the forts are gone. Now, we still have a chance for the red team to bring this back, but it's definitely going to be a bit more difficult from here on out. The only hero in the entire game that has not died yet is Anna, by the way. Anna, the granny with a bit pew pew pew, has not fallen. Howling Blast connects, alright. And they got that triple front line. I mean, both teams do. But let's see what Team Zagzi can pull off here. A 1 level gap can be a huge deal when your opponent makes it to 20. For now, it's not a problem just yet. But we'll see. Catapults, of course, have to be dealt with. The topside wall is nearly destroyed. Down at the bottom of the map, we have now the red team rotating in and trying to catch them. And Varian is a little bit far out. Varian needs to be careful. Arthas is on him, and the remorseless Winter is kicking in. Leap into the backline, though. Divine Shield is out. Thrall gets isolated by Imperius. Wailing Arrow connects. But we have the turrets on the map as well, and once more shots are being fired all over the place as Arthas is the first one to fall. Sonya shortly after him dies too. It's a trade, 1-for-1 as Sylvanas rushes away. Thrall is gone, and Jimmy comes in with a as he kills everything in his sights, takes down Thrall, takes down Varian. 15 kills to 3 overall. Momentum for Team Zagzi as they are pushing the top lane now, trying to make the moves here. Down at the bottom of the map, we have a catapult and we have the Sentinel attacking the keep. That's a huge problem for the red team. They're going to lose this very likely, so it will end up being a trade as they are going for the structures at the top. There's only 2 defenders now for the blue team, Anna and Sylvanas. But yeah, the keep is gone, and the same happened at the bottom of the map, so both of the teams now lost out on some major structures. So on the one hand, you can call it a bit of a win for the red team. On the other hand, also a pretty significant loss at the same time. You can still take a few of the camps and try and close the experience gap a bit further. We have Sylvanas now with 118 stacks on her level 1. And after the bot lane has been defended, they're moving in for their own Sentinel at the top lane. Yeah, it's a bit of a wild one. Team Zagzi is in the lead in the best of 3. So if they win here, they lock in the victory in the group stage against Team VVQ. But this is a super close game. And as I said before, you can definitely argue that on Towers of Doom, our first map, it was basically the same. They were mega close. It was just at the end when all of a sudden, you know, that switch flipped and Team Zagzi was starting to take the big lead and was able to run with an advantage and take the victory. But right here, right now, level 20 is about to connect for the red team as well. We already have it with Ignore Pain, with the Glory to the Alliance and the Nano Infusion on the side of Team Zagzi. It's again time for another payload. And they would love nothing more than to deliver it before 20 is a thing for the red team. But I suppose that is a little bit... Actually, is it unlikely? If they can just send somebody over here maybe and slow them down, I actually think they are going to get this one. Is it going to be contested in time? Yep, 20 versus 20. Alright, that's going to be a big fight here. Arthas has Death's Advance now. And they're starting to go for it. They want the fight here. They're coming in quickly. Once again, the attack from Sonya. She leaps in deep, but the blue team is in trouble. They lose Anna. First time that she goes down, but that's a problem. The sustain gone. Varian, Sonya, both eliminated, and it is a quad kill. A quad kill as Sylvanas dies as well. An utter disaster now for the blue team. Team VVQ lost nearly everyone. Only Thrall survived, and now the push for the core. We're seeing Team Zagzi with the attempted W. They want the 2-0 victory in the best of 3 series. And at this point, honestly, who can stop them? This is looking like a disaster. Fantastic team fight for Team Zagzi at the end of the map. Hanamura goes to them. They take the 2-0. What a performance here. Great series, honestly, in the round robin. Extremely well done. 32 kills in total. And there it is, the 2-0 W. Hanamura goes to the red team. GG and well played.